With inflation going through the roof and interest rates following, it seems pretty difficult to find ways for your money to make money in a stable way. And these are things that I'm looking for daily to try and make some money with my money and not lose money, which seems to be the case with most of the stock market at the moment. While I dollar cost average the absolute hell out of the stock market, I also like to try and diversify in as many ways as possible and find ways that are more reliable to make a decent return on my money. And this is why I have looked at many different products and services, as you may well have seen on this channel. And if you haven't, hello, check out some of my other videos. You may well enjoy them and you may stay for longer. If not, maybe not. The world of P2P and crowd lending is nothing new to this channel, and it hopefully isn't new to you because you've stumbled across this video, and I hope you haven't stumbled too hard. I've covered a number of platforms previously, but one that cropped up recently within my searches is a company called Maclear. And the reason that they piqued my interest is, well, for a couple of different reasons. P2P isn't new, and if you don't know P2P, it's where it's like peer-to-peer, so you're lending to a person. So someone borrows and you lend, and then you make money on that. So instead of going through banks, you go through a peer-to-peer platform, so it crowdfunds the loan, and then it gets distributed and then paid back. You know, it makes sense. So we're like the loan people, we're like the bank, lending out to multiple different people, often businesses, and that's kind of how it works. One of the downsides of the P2P market at the moment, I've covered a number of different ones, one of which I think is probably less likely to do well in these current times, are the likes of Estate Guru. And the reason why I mention that is because when you have loans for properties or for anything that's relating to property, right now mortgages and mortgage rates are really high. So to borrow money on that is way more expensive, twice or more expensive than it was previously in the last year, 2 years. Money was pretty cheap back then. So you're way more likely to have people defaulting on those loans when they're linked to residential things or to property related things. And this is something that other crowd-funded real estate investment platforms don't have a problem with, because you're buying the property outright and there's no financing available, right? So this makes sense. So you want to do P2P or crowd lending with things that are more stable, because it is just a hedge of your bets. And this is where Maclear really did pique that interest, and I'll get into exactly why soon. The guys that founded Maclear, one comes from a capital investment background and banking, and the other one comes from a foreign trade background. So they thought, you know, it'd be a good idea to do. They saw a gap and they thought, more people are doing this, but what is the biggest challenge with the existing companies that do provide this sort of service? And that's where they really wanted to focus on markets that were more robust and sustainable in more turbulent times as we're facing. Those more difficult times, you have, as I mentioned before, the fact that it's way more difficult to get money these days. Back in the previous years, money has literally been free. What I mean is that the amount of interest you pay back was so nominal that it was pretty much free. But it isn't anymore, and it costs a hell of a lot. So the barrier for anyone to get money is becoming increasingly difficult. So Maclear's aim has been just purely to try and break down those barriers to provide companies an easier way to get financing. When you're looking at the SMEs and smaller businesses that don't have the same level of financial support that other large businesses that quite frankly don't need this level of financial support have. So this is where things like this really can provide them the lifeblood they need to scale. And it's not about to stay alive, because they're not the businesses that Maclear target. It's all about the ones that they need to grow. So their selection process really focuses on core businesses that are looking to grow. They have to have a certain, well, enough collateral, enough asset behind them backing to be able to fund and back the loan. So everything has to be backed by assets. So they look for core businesses. One of the businesses that they have provided loans for is a steel company, for example. So they look for really core businesses that are providing things that will be needed forever. It's not a fad, it's not a trend. These are core services that they look at, and their selection process, I chatted to them about this as part of my research. I wanted to understand why they were different, what was different to them versus some of these other platforms that I looked at as well. Like I mentioned, Estate Guru being one and High Five being another. And so both are really different, and Maclear equally prides themselves on their selection process and exactly who they're offering loans to. And like I said, these are supposed to be, for them, recession proof. And we've heard the word recession numbers of times, and my God, it feels like we are definitely in one, and I'm not sure anyone will ever admit it, but it feels like it. And I'm sure we're going to feel the squeeze for some time. So trying to find those companies that are actually growing because of their core services and products that they provide is obviously key when you're providing loans and financing to them, rather than things that are more kind of on the sketchy end, or not sketchy end, but more like linked to money being cheap, which property often is. I like the fact that they're Swiss-based, so they're regulated by Switzerland. And if you know anything about the Swiss financial regulation, it's a good thing because it has a very strong regulatory framework. A lot of companies like to go here because it's very transparent and very clear. It's also very fair. Like, it's a very fair system, it's very transparent, everyone knows what's going on, and it's completely open. And so it gives, from their point of view, one of the reasons they really wanted to do in Switzerland is it gives, again, this transparency and trust for investors to know being regulated by someone like Switzerland means everything is completely clear and open for investors, which is honestly one of the best things you can have when you're looking at a company that's new. And this company is new. They don't have some of the same 10 plus years of operations to be able to give you that trust. So they're trying to do everything they can with their operations and their where they're based in terms of Switzerland and their regulatory requirements. So it gives you a better bit of confidence with what they're actually doing and what they're building. It also provides a certain level of investor protection as well. This was a priority for them in the same way trust, transparency, and investor protection, all things that you as an investor, me as an investor, expect when you're looking to invest in a new platform. And obviously returns. I like returns too, because if the return's really low, I don't like that. But we can talk about returns because they're not low, they're good too. I'm going to now jump onto my computer and show you their platform and all the different features that they have there, because this was one of the things that impressed me the most. I like the features and functionality and the returns I get on some of these other platforms, High Five being one. It has been great for me, but I'm not really a fan of their UI and anything like that, but it works and I like it. So I was curious when I first looked at Maclear and I thought, okay, new guys coming in, how is this going to work? What's it going to look like? And yeah, I'm not going to lie, it's pretty impressive. So let me jump on there and I'll take you through the UI and some of the features and functionality that the platform has, and you can see for yourself. Maybe you're not as impressed as I am, maybe I'm easily pleased, but yeah, let's go. So this is the Maclear platform, and you can see here it's got a really nice sleek layout. I really like the different menus you have down the side. It's really easy to use. You can see I don't have any investments at the moment, but I plan to change that this month. That is my goal. So we have our overview here, which gives you a really nice different dashboard. So you can see your whole total amount of funds available, invested, funds reserved, active investments, my projects, your total profit, including your paid interest. So the interest is paid every single month back to you as well. You don't need to wait till the end of the period, because some offer you the interest but only at the end of the period, whereas this is paid back every single month, which is a bonus. I like that. You get your all-time stats, and they have secondary market and cashback and stuff like that as well, because you do get some cashback bonuses for all the money that you invest as well. So there is some bonuses which I will go through in a bit more detail in a minute once I've gone through some of the different features that we have on the platform. So in their primary market we have all of these different things here. So you have the different stages of these projects. So for example here This is the Steelworks one that I was talking about previously. So it's a steelwork project. You can see the interest rate is 14.8%, which is absolutely incredible. Back to you. So that's what you'll get every single month, which is pretty impressive, I'm not gonna lie. So you can see another project here, and it may look like a housing project, but it actually isn't. So this is actually affordable housing, but it's not affordable housing, it's more like this is actually modular housing. So it's a modular housing situation that makes it easy for people to create houses in a modular form like that. Small, tiny house, modular housing. But they have like so many back orders apparently that they need to scale and they need to up their production because they have so much demand. Right, what else do we have? We have my investments. We can see investments through there. The statements, so you get all of your statements and your history. Deposit withdraw, again, it's super. Coming soon we have crypto transfer as well, so we can transfer into crypto. Bank transfer is the current way to get your money in there, so you can do your bank transfer. You can see all the details that you need to copy and paste in there to do your bank transfer in there. Minimum investment is done only 50 euros. So you can invest in this from only 50 euros, which again, really low barrier to entry. They started this and I think it was 1,000 euros that they had to start. It was something higher. It was much higher than the 50 euros. Due to the feedback that they got, they lowered it down to, again, their goal is to lower the barrier to entry. So this means that they're lowering the barrier to entry for you guys too. It makes sense. Now, you also can have referrals, of course, and the secondary market is coming soon too, and an auto invest. These are two features that I think that everyone will enjoy, because secondary market means you can liquidate your investments before the end date of the actual loan itself, which people like. You know, everyone likes, they don't know what's going to come up, especially in these times. It makes it easier to understand if you can liquidate and get your money back sooner. Same with auto invest. I like to set my investments to just invest. I don't like to be able to have to come back in and reinvest in another one. I want to be able to say invest in whatever. These are my qualifying criteria for loans. There we go, invest. And so you can see here, it's very easy to find anything. Super, super easy. And this is why I really like their platform. They have the whole program as well. You can get more bonuses back. So for example, if you're beta, you get a 0.5% interest extra on top if you invest over 5,000. If you invest over 15,000, you get an extra 1% interest on all of your investments. Alpha 1.5%, that's over 40,000. And if you're a baller Alpha Plus 75,000, you'll get an extra 2% interest on all of your future investments. That puts it up to something crazy like 17% return. Not quite that. Yeah, no, 16.5. Whatever. You know what I mean? Nearly 17%, 16.8. That's mega return on your investment. Hence the reason I am going to be investing at the end of this month on payday. Come on, bear with me. Now, unfortunately, I am not in that elite baller status, so I will not be earning nearly 17% per year. But to be fair, I'd be massively happy with 14.8% return on my investment. I think that's an incredible return on your investment. I'm really excited to see where Maclear goes, so I'm going to follow their journey. I love to find companies that are smaller and start like this. It's amazing to follow their journey and see how they grow and see the different loans they take on and see what interest rates returns are. And that experience for me is something that I really enjoy. I like to find these little diamonds in the rough, as you'd say, that just provide real good value to investors, which would be me as well, and obviously you as well. If you're interested in checking out the platform, check out the platform. You can sign up. Like I said, 50 euros is the minimum you can invest, which is, you know, very, very low barrier to entry. I'm going to put in a couple of hundred to start with and then work from there. So that's what I'm going to do every month. I'll just put a little bit more into the different loans. You can check out realtalk.business/Maclear. Links obviously on the screen, so you can just do that, and it will be in the description and stuff like that anyway, so you don't need to really stress about that. It's just here, you can see. And coming from a product point of view, this is why I was really keen to show you the platform itself, because I actually think it's been done nicely. There are a couple of things I don't like. I don't like the way that it highlights when you do the menu down the side. I'm a more traditionalist and stuff like that, but I'm very much nitpicking now. I actually like the usability of the platform. I think it looks really nice, really clear, really concise. Everything's broken down. I haven't seen a platform that detailed and nice to use in this P2P lending space at all. Not at all. So from a product point of view, it gets the Ross's thumbs up. I'm giving it two thumbs up. I'm always on the search for these sorts of things that can provide, especially in these times, the best levels of return that we can make for our money. I will probably do a follow-up on this. I like to, like I said, follow their journey. So if there's decent stuff that I can follow up with when they release their secondary market or when they release their auto invest program, I'll do some follow-up videos as well, my experience with them as well. So I will try and combine that with some future videos so you can see how that's looking for me. Again, it shows you exactly what I'm doing, how my experience has been, and then that builds some trust with you guys as well. I can be the guinea pig, so there we go. If you're interested in starting, like I said, 50 euros, link, you know what to do, whatever. I'm always interested in finding these little diamonds in the rough. If you know of any different products like this, it doesn't have to be in this space, but just generally different products that you think are doing some really interesting stuff, or they're starting to do some really interesting stuff. I love to get involved right at the start because I just find it really interesting. So drop me a comment, let me know of other interesting things or things that you don't like, things that you think do not touch that with a barge pole, Ross. That's not very good, because I really like those too, because that's interesting for me. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Links in the description. Don't forget, subscribe button, share the video with your nan. Otherwise, I will see you on the next one, and peace.